The sun blazed over the fields of Canaan, where Joseph, the favored son of Jacob, worked alongside his brothers. At 17, Joseph was young and full of life, but he stood apart from his brothers in more ways than one. His father, Jacob, had given him a special gift, a robe of many colors, vibrant and rich, a symbol of his father's deep affection. The robe was a constant reminder to his brothers that Joseph was the favorite, and it stoked the flames of their jealousy. One night, as Joseph slept, he had a dream. In the dream, he and his brothers were binding sheaves of grain in the field. Suddenly, his sheaf rose and stood upright, while his brothers' sheaves gathered around and bowed down to it. Joseph awoke, his heart pounding. The dream felt so real, so vivid. He couldn't keep it to himself. The next morning, Joseph found his brothers in the field. "Listen to this dream I had," he said, his voice eager. "We were binding sheaves of grain, and suddenly my sheaf rose and stood upright, while your sheaves gathered around and bowed down to mine." The brothers stared at him, their faces darkening. "So you think you're going to rule over us?" one of them sneered. The others muttered among themselves, their resentment simmering like a pot about to boil over. But Joseph didn't stop there. A few nights later, he had another dream. This time, the sun, moon, and 11 stars were bowing down to him. When he told this dream to his father and brothers, even Jacob was taken aback. "What is this dream you've had?" Jacob asked, his brow furrowed. "Will your mother and I and your brothers really come and bow down to the ground before you?" The brothers' jealousy flared into open hostility. "Here comes the dreamer," they mocked when they saw him. "Let's see what becomes of his dreams." One day, Jacob sent Joseph to check on his brothers, who were tending the flocks near Shechem. Joseph, wearing his colorful robe, set out eagerly, unaware of the storm brewing in his brothers' hearts. When they saw him approaching from a distance, their anger boiled over. "Here comes that dreamer," they said to one another. "Let's kill him and throw him into one of these pits. We can say a wild animal devoured him. Then we'll see what becomes of his dreams." Reuben, the eldest, intervened. "Let's not kill him," he said. "Throw him into this pit here in the wilderness, but don't lay a hand on him." Reuben planned to rescue Joseph later, but the others agreed to his suggestion. When Joseph arrived, his brothers grabbed him, stripped off his colorful robe, and threw him into the empty pit. Joseph cried out, pleading for mercy, but his brothers sat down to eat, their hearts hardened against him. As they ate, a caravan of Ishmaelite traders passed by on their way to Egypt. Judah, another brother, saw an opportunity. "What will we gain by killing our brother?" he said. "Let's sell him to these traders instead." The others agreed, and they pulled Joseph out of the pit. For 20 shekels of silver, they sold their brother into slavery. The traders led Joseph away, his hands bound, his heart heavy with fear and confusion. The brothers watched as he disappeared into the distance, then turned their attention to the robe they had stripped from him. They dipped it in the blood of a goat and brought it to their father. "We found this," they said. "See if it's your son's robe." Jacob recognized it immediately. He tore his clothes, put on sackcloth, and mourned for days. "A ferocious animal has devoured him," he cried. "Joseph is surely torn to pieces." The brothers watched in silence, their guilt hidden behind their father's grief. Joseph's story is a powerful reminder of God's sovereignty and the consequences of jealousy and betrayal. Though Joseph's brothers intended harm, God used their actions to set his plan in motion. Joseph's dreams, which seemed to provoke his brothers' anger, were actually glimpses of God's greater purpose. This story teaches us that even in the darkest moments, God is at work, turning pain into purpose and betrayal into blessing.